So in the comments on the last video, I got a short, sweet, but succinct question, which is this: how do you or how does somebody suppress negative thoughts? This video is sponsored by the Nexus, an online community where you can connect with generative minds and get mentoring from me in creating yourself to create the life that you want. And this week is launch week. You can get this for $247 for a full year access versus $564 if you are buying regular rolling access. If you want in, you'll find a link in the About section or in a card somewhere around here right now. How do you or how does somebody suppress negative thoughts? Now, that's going to relate to what I was talking about in the last video, because I'm talking a lot in that video about ground of being, and you create your ground of being, your experience of yourself in the moment, according to the thoughts you're bringing to bear upon the moment. People don't see this. They don't see thought as a creative medium. They see it as simply, I don't know, a way of thinking about things. And they don't get that it's creating their experience. And this is the first problem. So in answering this question, how do you suppress negative thoughts? First of all, I don't suppress them, right? I don't suppress them. That's not a useful approach necessarily, trying to push out negative thoughts. So if you're going to manage your mind and you're not going to suppress negative thoughts, and negative thoughts are going to be causing problems for you, what do you do? There's a line from Byron Katie that I heard her use once when she was working with somebody, which sums this up. It goes like this: you cannot let go of a thought, but when you see it for what it is, it will let go of you. So if we take this question and flip it on its head, how do you suppress negative thoughts? The question is, why are those thoughts even a problem for you? What is going on that those thoughts are a problem? Well, there's two things that need to happen in order for you to be bothered by a thought, in order for you to be seduced or hypnotized by a thought. First of all, you have to have the thought, but that's not necessarily a big deal. But second to that, you have to take the thought seriously. Okay? And this means thinking the thought is something more than it is. This is what Byron Katie is pointing to when she says, when you see it for what it is, it will let go of you. So most people, when they're having thoughts, unconsciously, they're thinking those thoughts are facts, are truths, are realities, that those thoughts have some real substance that really say something about the world, instead of just being thoughts, right? Now, a thought not taken seriously has no power, has no impact. This is why sometimes when people try and use affirmations, what's an affirmation? It's a new thought. Okay, we don't like the old thought, we try and smash it over the head with affirmations saying, no, you know, I'm a wonderful and creative human being, whatever it will be. But we're not taking those thoughts seriously. So we try the affirmation, I'm a wonderful and creative human being, and this other voice is saying, yeah, but are you really? I don't think you are. Okay, that thought we take seriously. So the issue isn't having the thought. The issue is thinking further into it, taking it seriously, giving it weight, giving it gravity after the fact, instead of just seeing it for what it is, a thought, right? I sometimes jokingly call them brain farts, right? If you pass gas, you don't take it too seriously. Most of the negative thoughts you're having, they're just gas passing through your brain, if you choose to take them as such. Okay? Now, I've talked in, I think the last video, I talked about the idea of what I call the truth trap. Getting addicted to the idea that somehow we get to know the facts about the world. If we can just wrap our head around this situation and just understand it, if we can get to the bottom of this crazy thing, then we'll be able to control it and we'll be all right. But much of the time, you cannot think and analyze your way to security, peace, well-being, this kind of thing. All you can do is free yourself from the thoughts that are keeping you from it, the thoughts that are undermining you. But in order to do this, you have to see them for what they are. Thoughts, not facts, not truths. So if I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm such a screw-up, that's not an issue unless I take it seriously, unless I think it really is true that I'm such a screw-up. If I go, oh, I'm such a screw-up, and I go, oh, there I go, thinking I'm such a screw-up again, right? Just an idea, just a thought. Doesn't have to have too much impact. Now, as I'm saying this, you might think, James, that's a pretty trivial approach, okay? And at the level of intellectual understanding, it is. right? You know, so the real change here comes not when you understand that the world is never your thoughts about the world, that you are never your thoughts about yourself. They're just not the same thing, right? And those thoughts don't need to be taken seriously. They can be taken lightly, okay? When you stop giving them energy, when you stop feeding them, they kind of evaporate. There's no suppression required, right? You can understand this intellectually, but the difference happens when you really see it. When you see it in the moment and go, I've been thinking this again. That's how I'm undermining myself. Okay? Now, different people come to this understanding through different pathways. There's not one recipe that a person can apply, but different people will get there through different pathways. When I work with clients, I will find the pathway that works for them. Okay? One pathway I sometimes use is I point out to people that their negative thoughts are like having a cruddy used car salesman in their head that's trying to sell them a duff car, or in this instance, trying to sell them a duff version of themselves. And I say, if you were listening to a used car salesman and they were giving you the flim-flam, you'd be right to be skeptical about what they were saying, right? You wouldn't believe everything they were saying, right? I mean, it wouldn't serve to. So start helping people see that this voice that might talk them down, that might undermine them, or these inner thoughts, this flow of thoughts or ideas, because it's not necessarily always a voice. It can be deeper than that. It can be outside of consciousness, right? But it's good to uncover it and go, well, what's the dodgy used car salesman that's trying to sell me a lesser version of myself, or sell me on my weaknesses, or talk me down from something? I don't have to be annoyed with that. Once I see it for what it is, I can view it with amusement. I can view it with compassion. Often that part of us that tries to talk us down, in a sense, you could go, well, what's it doing? It's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to keep us from overplaying our hand, whatever it is. You can have sympathy for it, but when you see it for what it is, you can go, oh, that's what I'm thinking right now. That's how I'm creating this sense of limitation. That's how I'm holding myself back. That's how I'm talking myself down. And maybe you can look at that with some understanding, with some sympathy, but certainly you don't have to give it energy. You don't have to go, but what if it's true? And this is one of the reasons why I often talk about the first transformative truth being the recognition that our ideas about the world are not the world and never can be. And the truth is something that, okay, maybe we can pull up alongside, maybe we can kind of get close to with our understandings, but we never get to know it. All we ever have is our ideas about things. And instead of thinking, are they true, what's usually more useful is going, well, what are they creating inside of me right now? Inside of my engagement, my being, this kind of thing. So to round this off, I'm going to say, don't struggle with suppressing negative thoughts. Okay? What I would recommend that you do is you deepen your understanding of thought and you become a better witness to the creative process of thought. And you start to see thought as a creative medium that brings things to life within yourself, good and bad. Not some sort of arbiter of truth about how the world is. When you come to understand the nature of thought, things change. Right? Your relationship to it and the relationship to your own thoughts, it changes. You have more freedom, more ability to fall out of the spells of limitation that we might cast upon ourselves and fall into more expansiveness, more resourcefulness, more creativity, more of what's good that lies beyond. Okay, so if these sorts of things, understandings about the mind, your nexus of mind and life are useful for you, like hit the thumbs up on this. If you've got any further questions about this, I know this is super helicopter view, you can make use of that comment section. If you want to get into my self-development community, which is about creating yourself to be the creator of the life that you want, you can find out details. It's called the Nexus. You'll find something in the About section. You'll find a card in this video somewhere as well. So that's all I need to say. Until we next connect, keep on using your mind to shape your life.